The matter is, Man City have won the league repeatedly and endlessly without him. So all he's done is come in and supplement Man City and made this remarkable contribution of a load of goals that would have been...
How dare you!
Probably anyway, with the scenario of what Man City bring to the fore.
Simon Jordan there downplaying Haaland's goals in his record-breaking season, simply stating that if he hadn't been there, somebody else would have scored the goals. They were winning before him, therefore his contribution is not as remarkable as it would appear. We're going to delve into that because we see this analysis a lot in 2023. But remember, you can enter our raffle now to win 2 tickets and £250 spending money to the FA Cup final on the 3rd of June. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in our description below now to enter the raffle. You can buy as many tickets as you want to go and get that done. But let's take a little bit more of a listen here to what Simon Jordan's got to say.
Matter of course. Look, I mean, he's a great scorer, great goal scorer, playing in a remarkably dominant side that creates scoring opportunities for fun. So when you look at the previous records of people like Shearer, I'm not entirely sure that they played in sides that were quite as good as Man City and quite as dominant as Man City. So whilst I give a huge amount of respect to Erling Haaland, he's 22 years of age, he's a remarkable specimen, playing in a different era of football where defenders can't defend anymore, can't tackle.
See, I hear this a lot. And I think for me, what I don't like about this analysis is we pick and choose when we want to use it. So when Bruno came in at Man United, there was he's only taking goals off other people. He hasn't really improved Man United. You see that what's being used against Haaland. Defenders are not as good as they used to be. Therefore, he's scoring more goals against weaker defenders. Therefore, the record doesn't count as much as 20 years ago. But at the same time, we're crowning Lionel Messi the greatest footballer of all time, who through this era where defending has got worse, he has outscored and outperformed his kind of peers for the GOAT title from decades gone by. And everybody, including Simon Jordan, universally crowns him as the GOAT. That's my issue. And all year I've been calling out this kind of punditry and this and the journalism around the review of games. People think you're defending a City player today, you're a United fan. Oh, you're defending Arsenal yesterday, you're a United fan. Why are you doing it? Because the same logic will be done to attack my club. So I'm attacking the logic rather than defending the target of this logic at this moment in time. We saw just a few days ago the media try and state that Fergie had no success outside of the Premier League and that he's never innovated anything within football. Lazy analysis being pushed out into the minds of the up-and-coming football fan. It's crazy to me. And I don't actually mind Simon Jordan's take, but it means we shouldn't be praising any of the goal scorers now for going on amazing runs. We shouldn't be praising Karim Benzema for his brilliant Real Madrid record, his brilliant European record, his brilliant Champions League feats, because he's doing it in an era that's poor. We also, by the way, if Simon Jordan believes this, he has stated in recent weeks that this could be the greatest English Premier League team of all time based on what City are achieving. How is that plausible when they're the most dominant team in an era that's weaker because teams can't defend and they're not as good anymore? This doesn't make any sense. It's all back to front. You either praise Haaland for being one of the greatest strikers the Premier League has imported. You praise this City team for being absolutely amazing and the best around. You praise the Karim Benzemas and the Ronaldos and Messis of this world for being some of the greatest strikers in the history of football that are doing it in this era. Or we say it's a weak era. But that then in the same time means you can't start taking crowns off of teams from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago and giving them to these contemporary sides. Simon Jordan, which is it? Is football better now or is it worse?
Damn! The club chooses which way it wants to go, and far too many people think that I am old and antiquated, which is so far from the truth. I might be 68 and look old, but there's nobody ahead of me in football terms. Not Pep, not Klopp, not.
Sam Allardyce just basically said,
suck your mum, yeah, I said it, suck your mum.
He ain't having it. I know as much about football as they do.
So it's all there with me, and I share it with them. They do what they do. I do what I do. But in terms of knowledge and depth of knowledge, I'm up there with them. I'm not saying I'm better than them, but certainly as good as they are.
They're big statements. Do you know what? I love Sam Allardyce. I know a lot of, I made a joke yesterday, and I mean it now. I can smell the Old Spice through the screen. Old Spice and talcum powder. You know he puts it on, right? But I do also get where he's coming from. He's recently gone on. I've seen he's talking about how too many teams play out from the back. He's right to a degree. His knowledge of the game, I bet it's impeccable. I guarantee you, every single one of us YouTubers, if we sat down with him and spoke football, not maybe off camera, because sometimes when you're on camera, certain professionals, they're not as comfortable. But I bet if you sat down privately with him and spoke football, he gets it. His style of football may not be as good as Pep's and Klopp's. There's no doubt about it. But knowledge, he's probably got a point there. And he's right about playing out from the back. It's a brilliant thing to do. But there are times when you should do it, and there are times when you shouldn't. And I would love to see a stat. I'd love to see Opta go and study football for the last 3 or 4 years and compare it to, say, 15 years ago and see how many more unforced errors or errors of conceding possession in and around your own area now happens compared to the past. I guarantee you teams are conceding easily 5 to 10 goals a season through playing out from the back. Teams, and getting that balance right is what's key. So I think he's got a point there, but better than Pep, better than Klopp, or knowing as much as them. I want to get your take on it. I'm just loving the fact he's come for them. 100% is quality.
Blah, 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 blah.
As pointless as ours is. They can enjoy the celebrations, but being Chelsea means fuck all. It's not a flex. We hand out 3 points to everybody. We're like the fucking hooker on the street that you just have to pay.
Stop it. Get some help.
Wait, because that's what we are. That's what we are. It's fucking easy against us. So why are you flexing this shit? Why were we the loudest ones in the fucking ground in the second half when we were 3-0 down? Because we're not fucking serious.
Wow. Man is going in here. He is going in. I haven't seen this. Obviously, the game was a couple of days ago now. I've only just seen this clip. Basically saying that Arsenal and Chelsea seasons are the same because you haven't won anything. Listen, I love Lewis. Great guy. Met him many times. Worked with him loads. This is the epitome of show me a man crying without showing me a man crying. The pain of his season is being amplified there. His hate of Arsenal is echoing across social media. He's wrong in terms of their seasons are not comparable. They're probably going to end up in 13th, 14th, or 15th. They're in relegation form after spending 600-700 million. The seasons are not comparable. Arsenal fans are excited about next year, but I'm not going to lie. I love seeing that pain. I'm not going to lie. Inject it. Inject it right. Just inject it into my veins. It's amazing. It really, really is. Bless him.
Oh!
I don't know. So only thing what I know is that Man United is one of the biggest club, and I think is among the maybe 2-3 biggest clubs in the world from fan base perspective. So I think this club has to compete for the highest in the world. So Champions League and Premier League. But then, in football, you need funds.
That's Erik ten Hag talking about not knowing exactly how much money he's going to have in the summer. And he's right. Of course he isn't going to know. He isn't going to know. The club doesn't know right now. So everybody's got to stop speculating. We need to sell to buy. Every club does. Balancing the books is part of the process for everybody, including Manchester City and Newcastle. And I use them as an example because of who their owners are. Man United are in the process of either taking a big lump sum of investment or selling the club in its entirety. That will have an impact on the transfer budget. I think it's something to not worry about. We were told in the summer that Manchester United would only have about 100 million to spend. That's in the summer of 2022. And we spent just over 200 million. So I'm taking with a pinch of salt this notion that there's only going to be about 100 million to spend. It's caveated with unless the club sells players, and we know we're selling players. Scott McTominay, Maguire. You're probably looking at the likes, you're looking at what, Fred might be leaving the football club. you've got a number of players in there that could be on their way out. Some of the fringe players as well. There's players that are out on loan, the Eric Bays of this world that could go. There's a number of pounds to be raised through the sale of those individuals, maybe 100 or million. You've then got the new owners that are probably going to come in, and there's talk about debt being cleared. If the debt's cleared, that 60 to 70 million pound a year that we're paying interest suddenly back into the coffers of the football club. Plus, the new owners can inject their own money. So, from my point of view, I'm really not panicking about it. They lie about our budget being ridiculously low every year. They don't lie. They report on it, and we end up spending more anyway. So I'm just not buying into this news. But yeah, I think Ten Hag's going to keep being questioned about it for some strange reason. But my message to Man United fans is, don't worry. Does Ten Hag look worried to you? He doesn't to me personally. But look, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on all the videos we've featured today on the show. Please hit the like and the share button and make sure you enter the raffle now. You can get as many tickets as you want. There's only about 3 weeks left until the draw for the 2 tickets for the FA Cup final and £250 spending money. So make sure you go and enter. Until next time, my people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again.